Good evening, ladies and gents. How you doing? It's Middle-Aged Gamer Guy, also known here as Mag. Welcome to another Tuesday night gaming chat where we talk about the latest gaming news and reviews from the last 7 days or so. Broadcasting on Twitch and YouTube. Welcome to everyone. Kindred was the first one here. He actually had us tabbed since 11:30 this morning. So I think that's a new world record. So Kindred, well done, sir. Well done. Flame, good evening. How are you? Good to see you. Game Matter, hello, buddy. Good to see you. Retro Shazar, welcome on in. And yes, Rock Muse is here. Hello, Rock Muse. And she said, Kindred, you really wanted to be first today. Indeed. Phantom, good evening. Good to see you. iQuail as well. Good evening. He said, luckily, it's been a quiet week and nothing was announced. No shit. I will explain that later. iQuail's also been rewarded 120 stream streaks. You get 450 mojo points. Tompa TV, thank you for the follow. Welcome on in. Ellie says, I was literally waiting for you to go live to get first, and Kindred's too fast. Bless you, Ellie. Good to see you. Excited to see the boys. They'll be here soon, don't you worry. I forgot when I just closed the PC down, all the tabs reopen when they boot up. There you go. So that's what we call a fluke. That's what we call a fluke, but a good fluke. Thank you all for being here. So yeah, obviously not many games were announced at all this week. We are going to talk about some of them, and we're going to talk about some other games that you may not know about. Lots of stuff coming up in the show, but obviously I can't do this by myself. I have someone who knows far much more than I do. He might not have sat through every showcase like I had to do, but at least he sat through the Nintendo Direct, which after he told me how it was like, I skipped that greatly. It's the one and only Mr. David Jones.
Good evening, mate. How you doing?
I'm all right. How are you?
Oh, not too bad. I didn't sit through the full Nintendo showcase. I was just like skimming forward in YouTube because I was a bit behind watching it anyway. And as I was skimming through, yeah, there's just nothing that remotely interested me. It was mostly ports and stuff we've already seen on other systems. So yeah, if you've only got Nintendo, then I suppose that's nice for you. But yeah, sadly, nothing remotely interested me in that.
There was it was like lots of. There were really good games. There was stuff like Liza P, Stellar Blade. I've already played them, but as you said, if someone's only on a Nintendo system and not played them, then that's good for them. But otherwise, it made
they probably found that much better than I did. Sadly, no.
Yeah,
nothing really good in there.
But then again, you know, I'm the one that found the Xbox Showcase to be the biggest snooze fest of this year. Danke says, evening there. Have we forgotten the image of twerking Teletubbies yet? No. Kindred said, make him sit through the Gears of War show. Jesus Christ. That was bad.
I did sit through that. And obviously you weren't that impressed with Gears of War. I mean, I think it looks like it'll be fun. I'm going to enjoy playing it in co-op. But you could definitely argue that it's more of the same. But you could say that for probably most of the stuff we saw at the showcase. It's the God of War, Laufey, more of the same. I got bored halfway through Ragnarok. I think I'd get bored of Laufey.
Yeah, no, I get that. But at least that's only the third game in the series, where Gears of War, this is technically going to be, the 7th game? And one of them they've re-released 3 times. Gilfly, also on YouTube, hello, along with Danker. And then he's appeared over here. Aldo, both doing good. That's just really confused me that you're watching us on both channels, but I appreciate that. There's a Star Fox demo out now, Aldo. That's all right.
Yeah, popped out earlier.
It's probably one of the only decent games coming out this
month. Yeah, this month is a little bit light on stuff, isn't it?
This month is bad. Everyone's gone, hey, let's leave it to just announcements and not release any decent games.
September's looking ridiculous. The other months around that.
Yeah.
Bit quiet.
Still Gaming OT says, what would you do different with Gears? A lot.
I don't know. It's the problem with anything, though, isn't it? You know, you play the first game in the series and you really like the way it's designed, so you don't want to change it too much. Otherwise, it's not that game that you liked anymore. But then you get the problem that, 6, 7, 20 games later, it's still the same. But I don't think you can ever win, because you do get some franchises that do change what they're going to do. Everyone gets pissed off with those. Then it goes back to the original. Everyone's like, oh, it's great. It's back to how I used to like it. But if you didn't make that change, people just still be complaining, oh, it's just the same thing over and over.
I wonder if it... because I'll always give everything a fair shout. When I end up playing it, I'll be like, well, this is better than 5.
Yeah, I mean, 4 and 5. All I can really remember the story of those. It was like Marcus's tomatoes getting trashed. I can't remember what else happened in the story.
Was that the thing that stood out for you?
That was the thing that stood out. Poor Marcus's tomatoes, man. They'd been working hard on those. They got wrecked. The rest of the story in 4 and 5, I have no idea anymore. But it don't matter because they just stuffed it up anyway.
Well, they have, yeah. They've not finished it off.
A trilogy never to be finished. Yeah, they stuffed it off now. Go back to a prequel with the characters we love. Because there you go.
Yeah.
They tried changing it a bit with new characters. People didn't like it. Go back to what we liked. People will probably mark this new one quite highly.
Oh, we'll have to see what happens. Yeah. Anyway, we'll talk some more stuff about showcases and games a bit later on. But before we do that, we should get our guests on. Now, these two gentlemen, I was on their show a couple of months ago. And they were celebrating an anniversary tonight, which is perfect timing to have them on the show because it has been 1 year since they launched the Good Poets Gaming Podcast. So from that podcast, can you please welcome Dan and Poetic as we bring them onto the stage? Good evening, gentlemen.
Evening, guys.
Hello.
Good evening.
How are you doing?
I'm good.
I'm good.
Yeah.
How are you? Yeah.
We're going to talk over each other a lot here. I can already feel it.
We'll make it work. Firstly, congratulations on 1 year. That's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah. It's been a ride.
Yeah. Do you know what? I didn't realize until Dan mentioned it, and I was like, bloody hell! It's been 1 year, and we haven't killed each other.
Yeah, we've done all right. I think. I want to get this right, but I want to say it's roughly 40-ish episodes.
That's good.
So because I know we usually do a season, which is 10 episodes.
Yeah.
We'll have a little break for a week or so, and then we'll kind of crack on with the next season. So with a few weeks off, 52 weeks in a year, we got 40 episodes out. We've only missed 12 weeks. So I'm quite chuffed with that, to be honest.
Yeah, it's the same.
That is very good going because if you've done 40 in a year, we do about 50 because there's only 2 weeks that we tend not to do a show, which is the 2 weeks over Christmas because there's no games
Fair
out.
play.
And then 3 of those shows are technically specials because one is a Christmas special where we talk about years, and then 2 of them are games that are coming out. Yeah. So, but then you'll see we're close to 270 in over 5 years. So you guys doing 40 in 1 year is really, really good, guys. I'm honestly saying that. I'm not just saying that to butter you up. It genuinely, that's very good going.
Brilliant.
Yeah,
thank you.
Yeah.
That's all right.
We're trying our best.
No. Cool. So for those who are not familiar with the podcast, we've just dropped the links in the chat. It's also pinned to the top of the Twitch chat. If anyone on YouTube wants it, let us know. We'll drop it in there as well. But for those who are not familiar, tell us a bit more about the podcast, how it come about, how you guys met, and kind of what the focus is.
Do you want to go Poetic or me?
I'm easy. Do you want me to go?
Yeah, go for it.
Well, all right. So I think about, I want to say February last year, Dan and I were essentially interacting with each other's posts and stuff, posting about each other, essentially bigging each other up.
Yeah.
And then one day Dan messaged me and was like, do you want to do a podcast? And in my head, that was something I would have wanted to have done, but a lot further down the line.
Yeah.
And we started talking about it, and we essentially were like, we should probably make sure that we have some form of chemistry between us, otherwise it'll just be shit, really, right?
Yeah.
So I think I joined one of Dan's lives, and we literally spent the best part of an hour just talking about random stuff, about games, about life, interacting with some of Dan's viewers and stuff. And
nice.
After that, we were both like, yeah, we should do this. Shot the first episode, and again, it was literally just over an hour of us just talking about video games, about life, about stuff in general. And then Yeah, 1 year later, here we are.
Nice.
It's good as well because, like, if you look back to our first episodes, like behind the scenes, people won't know. We had basically a full on script of like to the word what we would say almost.
Yeah.
And that's evolved now where, like, obviously we're kind of going a bit more guest heavy.
Yeah.
Because they're the more interesting conversations. So we'll have, like, points that we want to hit, but it's not like we have to say this, or we have a list of about maybe 50 questions, and we probably ask maybe 5 or 10, depending on how much of like tangents people go on. But it feels a lot more natural, and I feel like we naturally kind of slipped into that of like, we had to be scripted at the start, and now we don't need to because it's become quite, usual, and we do it every week now. So it's working really well. It's one of my favorite days of the week, filming on a Sunday.
Yeah, same.
Nice. Well, I was very honoured to be on your show a couple of months ago, so thank you guys. Appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for coming.
No worries. And I've been following what you guys have been doing ever since. Is there any sort of dream guests that you'd like, or people that you'd like next?
Oh, one that is on my, I haven't even spoken to Poetic about this, but one that's on my radar is the guy that plays Monroe on 007.
Oh, nice.
Because he's like a dream guest, but like I mean this in the nicest way possible. He seems like gettable. Like, I know we're not going to be able to get Patrick Gibson. That's not happening. But I feel like we would be able to have a bit of pull to get him on, which would be quite nice. But pie in the sky, it'd be like a Hideo Kojima, or so someone mental like that.
You need a translator for that one, though.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
Need a translator for my accent already.
That's what I meant, not for Kojima. He's fine.
Yeah.
It just nod and then something would explode or something, and something amazing would happen. Oh dear. All right. So as I say, there is links pinned to the chat and everything. If you want to go have a listen, the YouTube is there. Where else can they find you? Not just on YouTube. Where else can they find you guys?
Oh, I want to get this right. So we've got Spotify, YouTube. They're like the main ones that we manually, organically post to, and then through RSS we go to Apple and Amazon as well.
Sweet. Okay.
So you can go and look us up there. But the main places are Spotify, YouTube, and then we have Instagram and TikTok for our like clips and shorts that we do as well for the podcast.
Okay. All right. We'll go check them out, ladies and gents. They're a great couple of guys celebrating their first anniversary. Go have a listen. You won't regret it. Trust me.
We're a married couple.
Couple of your loyal lot are in the chat right now, which we greatly appreciate. So we apologise what we're about to do, because we might just end up ruining your friendship depending on how this show goes. But we'll explain that a little bit later on. So are you ready, gents, to start the show?
Yeah.
Okay, let's do this, because it is our 269th show. And tonight we're going to discuss such games as Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which has come out for Xbox and Switch 2, House Flipper Remastered Collection, and Gothic 1 Remake. We're also going to discuss certain things that happened during Summer Games Fest, and we're going to have a look at the UK retail gaming charts, amongst other things. And we are going to kick off with our first trailer for that exact game, because on the Friday night of Summer Games Fest, with good old Uncle Jeff, one of the big things announced at the end was the fact that we are getting the new Final Fantasy VII Revolution. Is it Revolution? No, it's not. Yes. Revelation. Sorry. Revelation. I can't read my own handwriting. At next year. And they spent a good 15-20 minutes talking about it. While that was going on, Xbox and Switch 2 users finally got to start playing Chapter 2 of this saga. So let's have a look at that. I'm going to play the trailer. Want to say hello to Montague. Blaze, good to see you. Garrett over on YouTube, welcome on in. Hi, how you doing? Chloe, good evening. Good to see you. Rock Muse has just gigantified an emote for 30 bits, so thank you so much. Can we get a shout out for Rock Muse, please? It doesn't do it on here, but if you're on the Twitch chat, it's huge. It's massive. So we're going to play the trailer for this one. Thank you for the bits, Montague Plays. He says, I have nothing left. Well, I appreciate it that you spent your last hard-earned bits on us. Frankly, I wouldn't have bothered, but thank you. Thank you. It means a lot. It does. I may have said that really badly, but there you go. It does mean thank you. I'm not being ungrateful. I'm just trying to be comedic. There you go. Sephiroth. Yes, it's Sephiroth. We'll be talking about Sephiroth in a bit. Let's do this. Let's play the trailer of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which has come out to Switch 2 and Xbox Series X and S.
Where to, folks?
Did you miss us?
On me. Cloud.
Sephiroth?
It's time.
We all know what's at stake here.
Dad! Mommy! I'm sorry.
Eva!
I'm in! Right! Ready?
Bring it on!
Let's do this.
Sephiroth has to be stopped.
Don't let her fool you.
No telling what the future holds for us.
Shall we?
Let's finish this.
There you go. That came out last Wednesday for Xbox and Switch 2. Obviously, you could already get it on PS5 as of last year. It's currently £10 cheaper because it's 40 quid on Xbox, 50 quid on the Switch. So if you want to get it now on Xbox before it goes back up to 50 quid. Dave, I know you've played this one because you played it. You can tell us a little bit more about this one.
Yeah, I played it when it came out on PS5. Got all the way out through to the end of it. This one, obviously, part 2 of the remake trilogy. They're stretching it out quite a lot. And this is following Cloud, Tifa, Barrett, and the rest of the crew as they're leaving Midgard, traveling across the continent in pursuit of what's his face? Sephiroth. That's it now.
Yeah.
In pursuit of Sephiroth, trying to work out what he's going to do and trying to save the planet. Now, so I played this last year, and for the most part, I did enjoy it. I just kind of felt that it just sort of went on way too long.
Yeah.
Now, I kind of hit the halfway point, which was like, I don't know, 40, 50 hours, and I was already kind of getting a little bit fatigued with it, but it still had shitloads more to go. So, I mean, I was quite glad to get to the end of it, because I thought, whilst it has some good bits too, like the combat's good, I like the characters, the Queen's Blood minigame's really good. I just thought like the open sort of world, open zone sections had objectives that were just too samey. It's the same towers to activate, all these other bits are the same each time. So I thought that kind of let it down. So I'm hoping they improve that in part 3, because I thought that side of it was a bit on the poor side. But it is worth playing. If you enjoyed the first one, I think you're still going to enjoy this one. But I say it just feels that little bit stretched out. It's the same sort of problem the Hobbit films had. Gone for like one thing, and you've stretched it out over 3 things, because it really does feel like there's a lot of padding in there in this remake trilogy. A lot of padding.
Okay. We'll do this like one game each. Who would like to talk about this one?
I mean, I'm going to get a lot of hate here, but I have very little to no experience with Final Fantasy, so I will...
Wait, same. Just to clarify, same. But that's fine. I'll take this one.
I don't play him. I don't care for him.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
but yeah, whoever wants to take this one, go for it.
Yeah. Well, I'm not going to play it. But it's mainly just because, like Dave was mentioning, like it's all I've heard is it's a good game, but it could be 50 hours shorter. And if a game can be 50 hours shorter, then that means it's probably 60 hours too long. And yeah, like I don't understand how you can stretch out a remake into 3 stories and then make them like 100 hours each.
Yeah.
But, yeah, it's just painful thing. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's not for me.
I get it. Everyone loves it. There's a lot of people that do love it because they wouldn't have made that the last big thing they announced at Summer Games.
Yeah.
Because for me, as a big announcement, I was just like, oh, okay. Like I wasn't that interested in it, but I was like, I see they've done that because it's loved by billions of millions of people, which is totally fine.
But also, to me, anyway, for me, it wasn't that big of an announcement, only because I expected it to be there. If that makes sense.
Yeah,
like, it wasn't a surprise or anything. Like it would have been more surprising if it wasn't there.
Mm.
I feel like for me, sorry to interrupt, but for me, like looking from the outside, not really. I think I may have touched it like when I was a lot younger, but I don't remember a lot of it. But looking from the outside, I kind of look at Final Fantasy as someone who's like, if you've never watched Marvel, like going through all the Marvel films, it's very overwhelming to kind of go, right, where do I even start with this? And there's so many like, I think it's also because it's Roman numerals. It throws me off as well a little bit. I'm a bit like, hang on, let me work out which one this is in the series. You know, it's a lot for me personally.
Yeah, I think you're either going to love it or you're going to not love it. It's Marmite, but I think there's more people that do love it, and that's fair enough. Yeah. So it's funny, Brian. Hello to Brian, and there's David on YouTube. Hello, David. Brian said, are you struggling to find 8 games this week? Well, let me put it like this, right? There was 26 games that we knew of that came out this week. Only 8 of them got reviews because everyone was too busy watching Summer Games Fest and hardly any reviews got written. On a lot of the gaming websites, they're still talking about games from 2 weeks ago. So this week is a bit of a clusterfuck of a week.
End of September would be sport for choice. November, I think we're going to have one games review, and that's it in November.
Yeah, like August, September, October, we're going to be like, yeah. And then December, well, you know what happens then anyway. We have time off. So there we go. So for those who've not seen the show before, we don't review the games. Definitely not qualified to do that, especially if I know nothing about Final Fantasy. But I scour the internet on lots of different sites, whether it be IGN, GameSpot, GamerRanks, Eurogamer, Metacritic, to name a few, and take the average score. You may agree with it, you may not. No fighting, people. But if you guess it correctly, you get a shout out in the chat. So Dave and our guest this evening don't know what the scores are. I'm the only one who does know the scores. Chat can guess as well. And you can have everything from a 0 to a 10, and you can have 0.5s. So nobody say 8.64 because that just doesn't work. But there you go. So to kick things off, chat, start getting your scores in, please. Dave, I'll start with you. And the good thing is I'm just going to say, you can have different answers.
Yeah,
because whatever happens, if one of you gets it right, you still get a shout out. So you got
brilliant.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you're that adamant you want the same score, that's cool as well. Okay. All right.
No, we'll go different. We'll spread it out a bit.
Yeah, there you go. Dave, I'll start with you. Good sir.
I'm going to go for a 9.
Going for a 9 out of 10 for this. I think the original on the PS5 was a 9, I think, but can't see this scoring that high now. Flame is saying a 7. Evening, Hannah. How you doing? Retro Jazar saying 7. Hannah saying 7.5. Rockmuse says, personally, I would say 10, but I guess it's less due to different issues. 9.5. Game Matter, 8.5. Tom Pom Rock. I said there was going to fight. I'm rounding that down. That's an 8.5, whether you like it or not. All right, behave. Good, thank you. You're doing. We're doing good, thank you. Yeah. However, now my shoulder unlocked up. I'm just old. A 10.2. Chloe, go home, Chloe. Go home. Poetic. I'll start with you.
I'm gonna go 8.5.
8.5. Okay. Dan?
I'll go 9. Bang on 9, I reckon.
All right. Okay. All right. Any more? Get them in the chat. This is Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which came out last Wednesday for Xbox Series X and S and Switch 2. You can already get it on PS5. Chloe's just putting random numbers in now.
I love it.
I want to use that phrase of why I order. Kindred says an 8.5. Pick a number, Chloe, please. So we can get the mods to, because the mods are going to have a hard time trying to guess all this. Chloe's just too excited for this. 9. Thank you, Chloe. All right. If there are no more answers, there you go. Thank you. Finally. I can tell you the score. 8.5 out of 10. Well done. Well done, Poetic.
Well done, Poetic.
So yeah, as Kindred mentioned, got about a 9 on PlayStation 5. Switch 2 version is very good. However, Xbox has had a few little problems, so it's just knocked the score down ever so slightly, but still 8.5 is excellent. See, Tom is going to be thanking me now I rounded him down from that 8.6. See? I do look after people, even if Chloe, I said 8.9. No, because that's closer to 9. Give over. So, can we get a shout out for our wonderful guests? Firstly, go follow them on YouTube. Go check out their Spotify. Go have a listen to their recent podcasts. We would greatly appreciate if you do that. Kindred, you get a shout out. And Game Matter, you get a shout out. Well done. And Tomper, you get a shout out. And Rock Muse, thank you for another 30 bits. Greatly appreciate it. Was a typo, I swear. I don't believe it. And Brian from the UK Gaming Network said 8.5. And Danker said 8.5 as well, because I didn't bring those up. They said them right near the start. So Danker and Brian, so we can have shout outs for them. I would greatly appreciate it. I think either Elliot or iQuail's on it. Thank you. I want you. That would be greatly appreciated. So there you go. While those shout outs are happening, let's move on to our next game. Now, this is another game that's already been out on another format. This came out on PC last year. And on Thursday, it came to PS5 and Xbox Series X and S. This is HollowBody.
Don't let her go. I'll be there before you know. I promise.
She's still out there, Tax. Somewhere. Scared and alone. I don't want to die here. I guess I'll see you after. Hey, we're doing this on our terms, not theirs. I just wish things had been different. For all of us. Tell me, is she still alive?
There you go. So finally getting its console release. This is HollowBody. Kindred, as just said, it's normally $14.25 on Xbox, but it's down to £12.10. So that's actually the cheapest you can get it at the moment. And on the PlayStation, it's normally about 13 quid. So depending on whether you get it on a sale or not, Xbox, PlayStation, not too bad for this indie title. Dave, tell us a little bit more about this one, please.
Yeah, this is a survival horror, trying to evoke the sort of feeling you got with like your original Resident Evils, original Silent Hills, going for like mix like the static camera angles and then the following camera. So probably a bit like how did the camera work in the original Silent Hill, because they had that mix. This one you're playing a character called Micah who's searching for her missing partner Sasha. And Sasha, I think, has got into this exclusion zone, this like walled off city. And when Micah's gone to chase after her, she crash lands in this zone. You got to try and find your partner, find a way out. You know, trying to avoid all these monsters that are appearing from nowhere and chasing you down. Looks all right from what I can see in the trailer. I kind of forgotten about this, even though we talked about it last year.
Yeah.
When you put it on the list, I thought it sounds and looks familiar.
Yeah.
I remembered it then, but yeah, bit of classic survival horror for anyone who's interested. Yeah. Looks all right.
Okay. All right. Dan, I'll jump to you for this one then. Yeah. Horror games, survival horror, Silent Hill-esque, your kind of thing, or wouldn't go anywhere near it?
Well, when I first started streaming, I was planning to do like a whole Resident Evil playthrough, and I was doing the original Resident Evil, and I got to a certain point. I think it was very early on. I just killed the snake. I think I don't even know what it's called in the attic, and then I had no clue where to go. I had no idea what I was doing, so it was kind of like I remember sitting there off stream, like I need to figure this out for the stream, and I couldn't do it, so that's kind of been the idea of. But saying that, I do like the kind of going back to kind of like PS1, PS2 era graphics, because it's kind of because it's an indie title. They know the budget's not amazing, so they're not having to spend all that on graphics. And hopefully, I haven't played it. I didn't know about it till you put it in the list, but it looks like a decent enough game. And you kind of lent into that graphical element as more of like a feature rather than it's got poor graphics.
Yeah.
And I quite like games that do that. And it seems like it's the type of game that could get a bit of a cult following. And you could release more games for it and, you know, crack on with it. Probably not a game that I would play religiously, but as like for, you know, £13, £10, a little one shot.
Yeah.
I'd give it a go. I'd probably spend about 5 to 10 hours on it and enjoy it. So yeah.
Okay. All right. Let's see what people are saying in chat. Danka's saying this is a safe 7. We always say if you're not sure, go for a safe 7. Brian's saying a 7.5. Chloe says, yeah, not really my thing. 7.5. Kindred was getting the prices, so we didn't see the trailer, but he's going to go for a 7. Hannah saying a 7. Flame saying a 7. Tompa saying a 6.5. Rockmuse saying a 7. iQuail saying a 6.5. So we're kind of bouncing around there. Poetic, I'll start with you. What do you reckon this got?
I'm going to go 6.5.
Okay, 6.5. Retro Jazar saying 7.5. Good evening, Legendary JL. How you doing, buddy? Good to see you. Game Matter going 6. Dan, what do you reckon?
Well, I'm going to go on the whole thing of that reviews are naturally skewed anyway. So I reckon this is an 8, which will make it very close to Final Fantasy, which I don't think this is. But because I think they're skewed, I'll just go for that.
All right. Okay. No. I can see because, you know, when you look how IGN scores something, you don't know what the fuck they're doing.
True.
So there you go. Dave, what do you reckon?
I'll try a 7.
Going for a 7, going for a safe 7. All right, folks, last chance. This is the console release of HollowBody because you can already get it on PC. This came out on Thursday for PS5 and Xbox Series X and S. And if there are no more guesses in the chat, I can tell you that this got a 7.5. So, yeah, not too bad. Not too bad at all. Retro Jazar, well done. You got it correct. Well done to Brian as well. And Chloe got her first one this evening. See what happens, Chloe, when you just go for one score. There you go. But there you go. We'll get shout outs for all of you in a little bit. So congratulations. And Chloe's just posted a 7.8.
Amazing.
I probably deserve that. Hannah says, yay, 0 out of 2 so far. Don't worry. We've got another 6 games. You'll be fine. But let's talk a little bit of gaming news next. And actually, we're going to jump back to where we started the show with. We're going to talk about Final Fantasy because, as mentioned, at the end of Summer Games Fest on Friday with good old Uncle Jeff, the big reveal for the final game was the fact that is Final Fantasy VII Revelation will be coming out in 2027. No release date. However, it's going to be a cross-platform launch, unlike the other 2 chapters. So you will get it on PS5, you will get it on PC, you will get it on Xbox Series X and S and Switch 2 all at the same time. So you're not going to have like a 6-month, 12-month wait on certain platforms. So that's quite good. But the keen-eyed viewers that had seen the trailer noticed something else. That one of the characters' voices sounded not quite the same as it did in the last 2 chapters. And that is, funny enough, the character that Rotmuse posted, which is Sephiroth. The actor's actually been recast. And everyone was saying, what's happened there? Well, it's an actor has basically steps in called Travis Willingham because the original voice actor was not available when the recordings were being done. So they had to find someone who could do a close likeness to it. So it's not been anything like he's been fired or anything like big news story that he just wasn't available. So they had to get someone else in. But the very keen, eagle-eyed people were like, his voice sounds like 1/8 lower or something crazy like that. And they noticed straight away. So it's not that much of a big deal. But as we say, there's a lot of people that are very excited for this game to come out. We've kind of already expressed our opinions. I know you guys aren't that into Final Fantasy. I'm not. I know there's a lot of people in chat. Dave, I know you've said, like, basically, God, I could not be doing with another 100 hours. But do you think they will end this in a way that could potentially make it the greatest Final Fantasy game of all time? And I'll ask that to you guys as well, even though you're not fans.
I don't know whether they could make it the best one because it's always going to, pale in comparison to the original in probably most people's eyes. That's the problem when you're remaking something. You've always got the original there, and when it's held in such high regard, it's always going to be hard to try and top it, especially where they're making tweaks to the storyline as well. So we don't know if it will completely follow, the way that the original ends. They might change here or there. So I don't know if it will be like the best one. I'm sure it will be, just as well made and padded out as the previous couple in the trilogy. But we'll have to see. But as to the voice actor change, quite honestly, I didn't notice. I watched the trailer. I didn't trigger, so it was a different voice. Maybe I noticed like the Fall Guy when you got a bit more of a Sephiroth talking in there, but I didn't notice. Probably if you hadn't put this in the show tonight, I probably wouldn't notice at all.
No, probably.
So I completely missed this bit.
That's fair. Branty's just said, well, if they go for the original plan, evening Branty, by the way, original plan finished, then Genova will be the final boss. They didn't go with the original plan in game, but not the poor parts of Genova, but the real deal awakened. So we'll have to see how all this changes because you said there's been a few things that are different. So
they've been tweaking the story since like the first part of the remake.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Rockmew says Branty is an expert. I totally believe you. I would not question Branty on his knowledge of Final Fantasy at all, as with you, Rockmuse. Guy, I mean, can you see that? I'll put a different question to you guys. Comes out next year. We've already seen a lot of stuff from Summer Games Fest being out next year. But does this have potentially Game of the Year slaps all over it?
I mean, obviously that depends on what else comes out. I mean, I can't speak on how good the game actually is, but I feel like with Final Fantasy, you're always going to have like, it's like when they rebooted Gladiators, there was that cult following that or we're like, yep, we're watching this, even if it's shit, we're watching it. So I feel like it's like that with Final Fantasy. People are going to play it regardless. So,
Okay.
and then with it, coming out, new people are obviously going to see it. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not being, if I didn't know that was a Final Fantasy game and you just showed me that trailer, I'd kind of go, oh, I'll whack that on my wish list when it comes down in price. I might give that a little go. But I think I've just got that little bit of bias towards Final Fantasy because I've never really been into it. That when I see it, I'm like, probably not for me, that one. But I also said that about Clair Obscur, and I was very wrong about that. I thought I would hate that.
Yeah, I thought
I would hate it.
I loved it.
But it was quite funny because me, Poetic, and I think he's in chat, is still gaming OT. We were doing a series on our top 10 games, and we got to the top 3, and then I started playing Clair Obscur. And I was like, oh my God, if I'd have been playing this a month earlier, this would be in my top 3 games of all time. Like, easily.
It's mental. I think it was our number 2 out of our top 15 of the year, I think.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Yeah.
It was so good.
Yeah. Rock Muse says, yeah, one of my exes just said no to every FF game without even trying one. Well, the funny thing is, they've been dropping a lot of the original ones on Game Pass, literally every month, a new one. So,
No! Shit! Yes! No! Shit!
Joker Girl, thank you very much for the tier 1 sub. That's now 54 months. Greatly appreciate. Can we get a shout out for Joker Girl? Claire Obscur definitely felt like it had some of the magic FF, to be honest. But yeah, if you've never tried them, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 are now on Game Pass. For the last 5 months, they've been dropping a Final Fantasy game every month. So I reckon at some point we're going to get Final Fantasy 6 this month. Is middle age for gamers 25, 45, or 65? Well, for me, I'm 46. Same as Dave.
Ditto.
I think anything below 40, you're fine. Even though some people get called old at their 30s, which is not true. And 65, bordering on an old age gamer guy, I think. There you go. Which then I'll have to, in less than 20 years, have to rebrand. But there you go. I got done watching the KH4 trailer, and I'm like, oh my God. What's KH4?
Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, okay.
In the Nintendo Direct.
Okay. No, that wasn't geared at Kingdom Hearts. That was geared at the Nintendo Direct. Because there we go. Boomer Gamer Guy. Yeah. Kingdom Hearts, my guy. Thank you. I think I love a FF and E33 collab. That would actually probably be quite amazing. There you go. But we will talk about more Final Fantasy on this show, regardless of whether we love it or hate it, as things develop and as things get announced. So there you go. Let's move on to something that I do like, but I am asking the question, why? This came out last Thursday on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. And this is the House Flipper Remastered Collection. Just think about that for a second, and I'll explain why. I'm like, why?
Won't help me clean up. I told them we were just gonna play board games. But then they ordered, pizza, and things spiraled out of control.
met back in school and have been inseparable ever since. We bought a house with a garden on the outskirts, but it's in rough shape. While you fix up our nest, we'll be off seeing a bit of the world.
I can't believe he would straight up walk into my house and steal a radiator.
So, as much as I love House Flipper, and obviously we got House Flipper 2 literally, 2 years ago, and have recently done a DLC. Why? This game's like not even like 10 years old, is it?
I think it's 2018 it came out. I was just looking it up just to see.
So it's not even 10 years old.
What? No, but there is always plenty of money in remakes. Yeah, they probably don't cost quite as much to put together. Probably a bit less time to develop. And it came out 2018. You've had a load of other sim things since then. Like you've had both the Power Wash simulators. They've shown how popular this sort of genre can be. So
yeah.
I guess from the dev's point of view, probably a good excuse to get the original, chuck all its extra DLCs and in there, improve the graphics, put some extra stuff in. So I think there is additional content as well.
Yeah,
and just chuck it out with it because whilst this isn't my type of thing at all, I can't say I've even bothered with Power Simulator. I can see that it's a sort of game you can get quite a bit of satisfaction from. It is quite nice being able to get it looking nice and clean and shiny when it was filthy to begin with. There's definitely certain satisfaction with that. Power Simulator is definitely proven. That's I guess the devs thought we can do this for a bit cheaper. It should make us a decent bit of money. I hope it anyway. We shall see, but I can see that's probably the reason they've done it.
I guess if you want to get everything because it comes with the whole bundle, then it's quite good. Big Fuzzy Panda, good evening. Big Fuzzy Panda says, does this game include crackhead squatters? That is one of the DLCs, I believe. There you go. Just to bring up the prices again, that where has he gone? Kindred said, so at the time of writing the show, we were told that all versions were due to come out last Thursday, but apparently the Xbox and the PlayStation version has been delayed. But they're saying that if it comes out, that it's going to be 40 quid on Xbox, 45 quid on PlayStation, but you can get it on Steam. Normally 42 quid. It's down to 37.79 right now. So we're looking at just basically PC version, but you ain't going to wait long. As I say, things change. We get lists and dates like months in advance, weeks in advance, and then things change by the day. There was a game we were going to put in, and now it was on the list, and it's been in the list last 2 days. We got told it's not coming out till October, so things happen. But yeah, I'll go with Poetic on this one. So let's say you've never played it and you like the look of it. Would this be a good deal, or is it a case of why is it a remaster?
Do you know what? I was watching that trailer. I've never played it, right? And then there were two things. One was that this is the perfect game for me to be like to my partner, I'm just gonna go cut the grass and then turn the console on and do it virtually. And then the second one was, I can't believe this isn't in VR. It didn't mention it was in VR, but this feels like it would be one of those games that would be perfect for a VR experience. I was interested up until I saw the price and it being about £40. I'm like, oof. That seems to be more expensive than I anticipated it.
Yeah, I know there was a ridiculous amount of DLCs that came out because they did release a lot of DLCs, and they were still releasing DLCs right up to before House Flipper 2 came out. And apparently Danka posted saying that if you own the originals and DLCs, you can get the game even cheaper than 40
Oh,
quid.
okay.
So if you already got it and loved it, but then my point of view is, well, if you already got it, why would you get this?
Yeah.
I
And
don't know.
in terms of, I mean, if it was only in 2018, I agree with the fact that, like, it shouldn't have a remaster or a remake. Conversely, I get the point that it's cheaper to make, and I think usually these things are like used to onboard new developers.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. So I get that aspect, but for me, probably a miss. But we'll see if it goes on sale.
Okay. All right. Big Fuzzy Hat. Good evening, Big Fuzzy Hat. She says, "Can we steal the copper?" I'm assuming you mean the piping, not the local policeman. Or maybe that's what you want to steal. You want to steal the local. Just don't tell your husband if you do that. All right, you'll get in trouble. Yeah. Right. Let's see what people are saying score-wise. Told you I was in a funny mood today. Let's have a look at this. Let's see. So starting from the top, Chloe, 7 out of 10. Big Fuzzy Panda, 8 out of 10. Hannah, 8.5 out of 10. Rock Muse, 8. Legendary JL, 8. Tompa, 9. Game Master, 7. Brian, safe 7. Danker, 7. Joker Girl, oh shit, 7.5. This is a bit weird. Kindred, 7. Chloe's changed the score again. You're gonna have to tell me what you want your score to be. Flame, 8. Wasn't paying attention. I did wonder what the oh shit was for. I was like, Retro, 8. Gilfly, 7.5. I'd buy it, says Brian, if it was £40 cheaper. If it was £40 cheaper. So basically free. Chloe's saying the 7. Change score to 7. All right. Dan, I'm going to start with you this time. What do you reckon?
I reckon safe 7, because I feel like the reviewers probably just looked at it and went, we know what it does. Yeah, go on. Slap a 7 on it. Yeah. That's my interpretation.
Tom was saying, I'm starting to think that 9 was a bit bold. You don't know. Dave?
I'll try 7.5.
7.5. Okay. Poetic?
I'm going to go 8.
Go 8. Ooh. 7. Okay. Right. Okay. Last chance, folks. This is House Flipper Remastered Collection, in brackets, but why? Which came out on Thursday. Will be coming to PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series X next month, we hope. And it's out on PC right now. Hannah's now changed her mind. She's going for an 8. If there are no more scores in the chat, then I can tell you that this got 7 out of 10.
Yeah. I got one.
Branty just come in there, said 6.5 based on price and not needing to remaster. There you go. Yes, 7 out of 10. So Chloe's like, yeah, get in. 2 out of 3. So I'm going to try and do some shout outs because iQuell's gone off for his dinner, bless him. And all the other mods have disappeared. So unless Ellie, if you're still here, Ellie, calling Ellie, you'd be so kind. So let me just scroll up. So let's see if I can find people that got it right and hit the buttons. Chloe, you got it right. There's a shout out. Let's scroll up. Kindred, you got it right. There's a shout out. Danker, you got it right. There's a shout out. I think Danker's now 2 for free as well. I think so's Chloe. Brian from the UK Gaming Network. Where's he gone? He's there. You get a shout out, dude. Game Matter, well done. Ta-da, you get a shout out. And I think that is everyone. There you go. If I've missed anyone, please do tell me. There you go. And we will move on to our next game, which is a bit more of a puzzler. And this came out on PC. Brian is 3 for free. Well done, mate. This could be your week. I've probably just jeopardized it now by saying that. Sorry. But we'll see. We'll see. I have faith. Because Brian has good weeks and bad weeks. We'll see what happens. This is a puzzle game that came out on PC. This is called Swan Song. Let's have a look at the trailer for this one.
Dear Edith,
part of me hopes you'll never find this, and I'm ashamed to admit that I only know small bits about your life. When she left a hole bigger than her stature would imply. A hole so big, I couldn't see you waiting for me on the other side.
Oh, wow. Tristan, why did we need such a big house again?
No, I've got one. Geppetto.
Mom, do you want to play a board game with me and Dad? I'll be right there. Let me just finish with this song draft, okay?
If you're the one reading this, I hope this box brings you some insight into why I acted the way I did. Not as an excuse, just as an explanation.
There you go. That is the wonderful Swan Song, which came out on PC last Thursday. Before we talk about it, I want to say a big shout out to Slopes, who's just raided us. Thank you so much. The wonderful DJ Slope from Slopes Game Room on YouTube and other amazing platforms like TikTok. Hope you're well, buddy. Great to see you again. Done a shout out for you. And also, if you're not following Slopes, go click that little heart at the top of the chat. You won't regret it. That guy is fantastic. An amazing YouTuber, and puts on some bloody good quizzes as well at Timeless. So you will be missed this year, mate. You will be missed because he's going on his holidays, which is all good. we allow people to have holidays. It's only me that never gets a holiday. So something a little bit different for this next game. Dave, tell us a little bit more about Swan Song.
Yeah, this is a little puzzle game just set in a music box. So you've got to place musical notes on the bottom part of the music box, and then depending on how you place the notes, it will control what happens with the tiles that are moving around in the music box. You got to try and get in the right order to get that little swan from one side to the other.
Yeah.
And it is sort of in between, solving all these puzzles. There's a narrative going on. I think it's the creator of the music box. Details about his life and about the family that he's made the box for. I think it's supposed to be a fairly sort of heartfelt narrative that's there. So I think I quite like what I've seen there. The trailer that you just played, the video I watched earlier, it did look like quite a cool little puzzle game.
Yeah.
It's only saying like £5.72 at the moment on Steam.
Yeah,
it's a pretty good price for it. I think there's quite a number of puzzles to try and solve in there, so I think you get a good bit of playtime out of it.
Yeah,
quite like that.
I mean, even when it's normal price, which is £7.15, that's a bargain. So it's down to £5.72 at the moment. Yeah. So I'd definitely say go check that out for sure. Joking, one day I'll get to Timeless. It'll happen. It'll happen when it needs to happen. Don't you worry. Dank was like, "Damn, that's cheap." It is. Dan, I'll move to you on this one. You're a big puzzle game fan. Your thoughts on this game?
Not. I'd never used to be, but then when I started streaming, it was kind of like trying the indie games. Like obviously your network and there's a few indie devs that are on Instagram and stuff. And I played one recently called Alchemist Journey of the Soul, and I did like a big video on it. And it's a puzzle, like first person puzzle, but you get spells and different bits and bobs like that. So I was watching that trailer. I was like, this is a bit of me. This, like, I'm probably gonna go off this tonight. Go on Steam and go, buying that. That's one of my next streams for the week. But yeah, it looks good, and I like that there was like I had like an underlying story to it as well. So it's not just your kind of like Candy Crush-esque thing of doing the level for no real reason. It looks like it has something underneath it and like different layers to it. And the voice acting, from what I could hear from that, it sounded pretty damn good as well. So definitely one I'll be picking up.
I did wonder whether, and I don't know if anyone can verify this, the voice sounded like Ron Perlman.
It did.
Like, from Hellboy and all that, for anyone wondering who Ron Perlman is. It's got that sort of gravitas. It might be someone who just sounds like him. I don't know if Dave's doing a bit of a snoop. I can see him tapping on his keyboard. So
I'll see if I can find out.
Just be interested to see if it was him or not.
I'll see if it's on the Steam page.
But while you're doing that, Dave, I will look at what scores people are saying in chat. If you have just joined us and you're just coming on Slopes' Raid, we don't review the games. You can guess them. My hair's going all over the place. It's like... but if you guess the scores correctly, we will give you a shout out for your channel. So feel free to drop a score in the chat. It can be halves and whole numbers. So let's have a look what people are saying. Dank is saying an 8. Brian saying an 8. Joker Girl says, this looks cozy. 8. Big Fuzzy Yak, 8. Big Fuzzy Panda, 7.5. Chloe, 7.5. Flame 7. Retro Shazar, 8. So all seems to be very close. Tom is saying 7.5. Dave, have we found out? Is it Mr. Pullman?
No, I haven't actually found anything yet.
Wow.
Trying to search for Swan Song brings up some other stuff like movies or different games.
Oh, okay.
Anything yet? I'll keep searching.
It'll keep
searching
somewhere.
But I'm going to guess an 8 for this one.
My frigging hair out, whatever's going on with that. But there we go. Dave, I'll start with you. What do you reckon?
I'll go for an 8.
Go for an 8. Okay. Kindred, also going for an 8. Rock Muse going for an 8. Game Master going 8.5. JL going for 7. I did also see that JL got a free stream streak, so you got 450 Mojo Bytes or 350 Mojo Bytes. Congratulations, JL. Poetic.
I'm going to go 8.
Going for an 8. Okay. Coach Marv, dude, good to see you. 7.5. Good to see you, buddy. He's been on the show literally a couple of weeks ago when we were at London Games Fest. So good to see you, buddy. Dan?
I'm going to have to go with me man Marv, I think, 7.5.
Going for a 7.5. Okay. Folks, this is your last chance. Get your scores in. This is Swan Song that came out on PC last Thursday. And if there are no more scores, I can tell you this got an 8 out of 10. So, firstly, a big shout out to our guests. If you are not following them, go check out the Good Poets Game podcast. There is a link pinned to the top of the chat, but I'm going to chuck it in the YouTube and the other chats there for you. There you go. There are the links there. Dave also got it right. We'll come back to him in a minute because we do something special. If you want to celebrate the fact that Dave got one right, exclamation Dave in the chat. That works as well. But we've also got these wonderful people. So I'm going to boot my Steam Deck up while Arquell's having his tea. And we are going to say congratulations to the following people. Rock Muse, well done. You get it right. You get a shout out. Kindred, again, you're doing really well, mate, tonight. Have a shout out. Retro Shazar, nicely done. That's your first one. Retro Shazar. There you go. And as I scroll up, Big Fuzzy Yak. It's for some reason not on my stream deck, so I'm going to do that manually. Don't know why. Boom, there you get a shout out. And we have got Joker Girl, getting one right there, and Brian from the UK Gaming Network, and Mr. Danker. So I think there's a couple of people with 3 out of 4. I think the actor is Rick Anderson if the main character is called Tristan. So no mention of Ron Perlman then. So maybe it's just sort of a Ron Perlman sound-alike.
Could be.
Could be. Now, for those who don't know, Dave, my co-host who knows the most, Evening Lava Being, hope you're well, is not a streamer or a content creator. Therefore, we have to do shout-outs in a different way. Now, I'm going to insist that the first one we do is a spin in a chair because I want to get a clip of this. Because, as you know, we have a clip of me spinning around in the chair.
Yeah.
And we wanted to replace it and update it. And we thought, to celebrate, it's the lad's first birthday for the podcast. So this will be immortalized that whenever anyone spends bits on the channel, it'll be you guys laughing your head off and me spinning around the chair like a swat. Okay? So, this is for Dave. After this, Dave, you can pick whatever you want, but we're going to do this. So, make sure that people clip this, all right? Here we go. In 3, in 2, in 1.
Flying.
Very clippable. Well
I
done.
cannot see a thing. My vision's going.
Yeah, I
like
was going to say, you must be dizzy.
Yeah.
Oh, that was amazing.
There you go. Do you want more of that? Tune in later on to the show. There you go. So let's talk more gaming news while my eyesight and sockets go back into where they should be. Obviously, this time last week, Majestic. I love that. Thank you. Yeah, I've got three eyeballs, I think. That was marvelous. There you go. Thank you. So please, I hope someone clicked that because I'm not doing that again in a hurry. While we were doing the show last week, it was the Sony State of Play. Obviously, a lot of big games were announced. We got to see more in depth with some other games. I think out of the showcases for the individual consoles, i.e. Switch 2 that we had today, Xbox on Sunday, I did feel that the PlayStation 1 was the better of the three. Okay? Even though I'm an Xbox fanboy, I felt that PlayStation was better. New God of War. Obviously, saw lots of Wolverine and a lot of other big name games announced. So I'm going to ask you guys to talk about what you might have seen and what you liked from the picks. But interestingly enough, obviously there was a number of games that are sole Sony party titles. And it was revealed after the showcase that over the last 5 years, Sony has been steadily on the decline from the sales of its first-party titles. Meaning that since 2020, anything that they brought out, like God of War, Ragnarok, Horizon Forbidden West, has not done well. Now, Ghost of Yoti did turn that around last year and start sending the arrow back up in the right direction. But it means year on year, it's generally not been great. In terms of other stuff, you could say that Helldivers 2 kind of saved it. But you do bear in mind that that was also on PC and is now on Xbox, etc. But it was the only big multiplayer game for them that was a success because, as we know, such games like Marathon have not really hit the target. Most recently, Saros, which reviewed very well, has also undersold what their targets. And let's not talk about certain games that only came out and lasted 4 weeks and then were, delisted ever again. Let's not go there. So generally, they were like, well, what can make us money? As Dave mentioned earlier with House Flipper, remasters. However, even their remasters, which they brought a lot out, Last of Us came out 8 times in the space of 4 years. That did not do them any favors either. And they actually said maybe that has headed up into kind of the territory of what's caused the decline. So lots of good stuff on the actual showcase itself. But does it mean that these games are also not going to sell as well as what might have sold back pre-COVID? What are your thoughts on that, gentlemen? So let us know what games you like from the showcase, and do you think that these games are going to fare better or worse than what we've had from Sony in the last couple of years? I'll start with Dave.
Yeah, I think there's some good stuff at the showcase. I mean, if we're just talking about Sony's first-party stuff, I did like the look of Wolverine. Whilst I thought God of War Laufa, I thought visually it looked pretty decent. I still get the feeling that if I was to play it, it would just feel exactly the same. It was the previous 2 God of Wars. It's going to be the same third-person narrative adventure, similar combat. I think a little bit quicker, looking at the moves that Faye was doing in there, but it was the same sort of thing. You'll get weapon upgrades, armor upgrades, things to add to it. I reckon it's just going to feel very similar.
Okay.
And of course, I think you had some section of the internet getting a bit annoyed with it because it hasn't got Kratos in it as the main character. I don't think it's a bad thing. It's changed the main character.
Yeah, I don't.
It'd be an interesting story. We only got to see like the first 20 minutes of it, so too early to really tell. But I think the sort of problem that Sony's had with their first party stuff is you have had quite a gap of good releases from a number of studios, which is Sony's own fault for all the live service games that they greenlit. We're making these studios do, and they've either just cancelled the game, without it coming out because they decided it wasn't going to work, or they might have closed the studio as well. We've seen them with their studios go, like Blue Point. They wasted their time. I think God of War live service game that got canned. They didn't want to let the studio spin up anything else; it would have taken too long, so they closed them off. So you definitely had a bit of a gap in like good quality titles. But then I also kind of feel that if you ignore like Gran Turismo, it kind of feels like to me like all or most of Sony's other first party stuff. It's third person, but either like narrative action game or open world.
Yeah.
So they all start to sort of feel a bit similar one to the other. Yeah, they could probably bring about some of their like classic FPS franchises, like they had their like Resistance. It's quite a good one back in the PS3 era. You know, they could probably remake that and make it look really good if we're talking about remakes making money. But it's a franchise that kind of left alone. Same with Killzone. That was a good first person one they used to have.
Yeah.
But it does just feel very third person wise to me from Sony's first party studios. They could do a bit more of a mix. But so for the decline, I'd say it's probably mostly down to wasting devs' time on live service stuff that either got canned off or just came out and died in its ass.
There you go. 5 great games in nearly 6 years. This gen isn't a great average for the PS5.
No, they have better stuff out PS3, PS4 era, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Poetic? Any that sprung to mind, or any that you?
In terms of what I liked, basically Wolverine. Really, massive Wolverine fan. God of War. I'd like God of War. My only critique of that game was the cube. I don't understand, like why is there a cube?
It feels like it's the comedy equivalent of the talking head.
Yeah, but
in that respect,
but that there's that. In terms of Sony's decline, I do genuinely feel like it's a number of things. One, the biggest thing is it is their own doing, right? Like they've had studios making games that they shouldn't have been making.
Yeah.
Also, they.
Pardon me.
That's right. Also, there's like things like if you look at the PS3 generation, like we got 3 Uncharted's and The Last of Us and stuff like that, and we are yet to see anything actually come out from Naughty Dog.
Yeah.
Which doesn't help, right? And then people like the gaming community are literally telling Sony what we want. We do want a new or remaster of Killzone, of Resistance, of Bloodborne, of these games, and then giving us Concord and Marathon, and like it just doesn't make sense. And I also think the other aspect is that essentially PlayStation's now become the default console, right? So it's kind of like, well, everyone's playing Fortnite or Call of Duty or Destiny or whatnot, and we're now time poor, and therefore, if all your friends are playing Call of Duty, you're more likely to just play Call of Duty than you would be.
I get it.
Playing Wolverine, but. Yeah, overall, I think Wolverine and God of War were my big takeaways. But I've never played Tomb Raider, and I'm very excited to also play Tomb Raider.
Yeah, the Tomb Raider looks very promising, I have to say. Yeah, I think it'd be good. But the only downside was we were expecting it this year, and it's been now on the date of February. So it's like, right, so does that mean the next Tomb Raider that was supposed to come out next year is going to get pushed into 2028? Because I can't see them releasing 2 in the same year.
I would space them out. I reckon that will get a delay.
So it's kind of Dan, any thoughts on this?
I mean, for me, Life Poetic Wolverine is like the only real one. Like, obviously, I've got a pregnant fiance, so I can't catch all of the trailers. I'm struggling to keep up with it. But I think Wolverine, it's more of like a nostalgia thing. I want to say it was Wolverine Origins or X-Men, the game where like he had the regenerative.
Yeah, on the Xbox 360 and PS.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, that was brilliant.
Yeah, that game. I remember the first mission, and you drop down in a helicopter and you have all the guys shooting at you. And I remember I had them stand there and I was like, this is amazing graphics. Just shooting away.
Taking chunks out of you. It looked great.
Yeah. Oh, it was amazing. But I think that is like a little bit of nostalgia bias, and I'm kind of hoping that this game is as good as that.
Yeah.
But I would like to think that they will do it justice, because I feel that they took what with like because Marvel are doing it, and Marvel Spider-Man. I thought that was an amazing kind of nod back to Spider-Man 2 and how they did the actual like really good web swinging and stuff like that in that game. So I'm quietly hopeful for Wolverine.
Yeah.
Going back to your question of, do you think that these games will do well compared to pre-COVID? I think no game will ever do as well as that, purely because people just like me myself. I was on furlough at home, getting paid all this money and nothing to spend it on. So I was buying games. That's all I was doing. I'd like to think that they would, but like Dave said, I think a lot of studios are just going third person action, trying to get a little movie tie in there where they can. And we do really have to look at indie for anything really unique at the minute.
I think that's the case, yeah.
Definitely.
Yeah, whereas like you look, maybe 10, 15 years ago, and you had like all these different unique games that were coming out from fairly, not massive studios, but fairly well-known and well-recognised. I can't think of one off the top of my head, but we did have a bit more like of a vast library of games. So
no, I agree. See what chat's been saying. Icon says, I bloody love games, but I feel like my interest in AAA games has dramatically dropped off in recent years. I feel like a lot of the games are very safe or live service, which is basically cannibalizing itself and not my bag anyway. A lot of these week's trailers were very interchangeable. Kindred, we did crash the Sony Bungie network today at 6 p.m. when everyone tried to log in all at once for the last update for obviously Destiny 2, and everyone got throttled as they couldn't handle the players. Says, Naughty Dog are releasing Intergalactic Heretic Prophet. True, but we've not seen anything since they did that first trailer 2 Christmases ago.
Yeah.
So we haven't heard anything new about that.
Yeah. And I reckon it's going to be a cross-gen game, and the best place to play it will be on the PS6. So
maybe it'll be on.
Could well be right.
I think you're right with that. I'm not sure about the cross-gen thing, but definitely PS6. I'm with you on that. Most games are Souls-like or roguelike games. I'd say there was so many Souls-like and roguelike games over Summer Games Fest. I was just like, but there you go. It was a year and a half ago. Damn. Well, it was longer than that. It was Christmas of 2024. It was announced, because it was at the Game Awards 2024 in December that was announced. It was the last big thing they showed. Whereas the last big thing, obviously the year before, was that game that's closed.
Hi, God.
Yeah. Anyway. There you go. Anyway, let's move on. So, PlayStation Showcase, good. The way they're selling games, not so good. That's where we're up to. We'll talk a bit more about the Xbox Showcase a little bit later on the show. But we're on to our next game. And this is a game that probably does need a remake / remaster. And is a bit of a forgotten gem. Back in the days when PCs had things that came out and they weren't drink stands, they were putting CD-ROMs in. And technology came in, and FMV was a thing with full motion video. This was a classic back in the day. And now it's had a remake. This came out on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and of course PC, but without the disc this time. This came out on Thursday. This is the 7th Guest Remake. Let's have a look at this.
My honoured guests, welcome to my house. This house has its own rules, and it can be a cruel mistress. Yet solve its mystery, and you obtain your heart's deepest desire.
Stauf knows too much. But how?
You might be in danger.
Oh, pish posh.
If you've read anything about Mr. Stauf's dolls.
Tell me you don't believe in that gossip. There's no danger. This is just a harmless little party.
Even if the house was haunted, I can fend for myself.
It may be a game, but only Stealth knows the rules.
And if there's one person to solve Stealth's mystery, it will be me. Alone.
The things I've seen.
That prize money is mine! Mine!
Winner takes all.
PlayStation. There you go. And if you got the VR edition, you get this new edition absolutely free, which is quite cool. So, for people who are not as old as us, Dave, please explain what the Seventh Guest was.
Well, this originally came out on a CD when CD-ROM was quite a new thing back on the PC. This was like something quite special way back when. It was like full motion video on a CD, quite something to behold. Go back to that now, look a bit on the shit side, but back then, it was pretty impressive. And it's always been like held in high regard. So it's probably sort of time it had a remake, and this was originally remade for VR, so you could get it on Steam VR, MetaQuest VR, probably a year or two ago. But they've decided to also bring it to flat screen. So they've made a few tweaks to it, so it plays properly with a controller instead of with VR and its controllers. So as they tweaked a few things, tweaked a few of the puzzles and stuff like that. But it's ultimately just the same game as the VR version. You'll go into the mansion to try and solve the mystery of why these guests were actually invited there, what they were meant to be doing, what the person who owned the mansion had invited them for, and a lot of that is down to like various puzzles in the rooms that you got to solve, and all different types of puzzles. So I think it looks pretty cool. I don't think I ever actually played the original. I think when it first came out, I just didn't have the money for a CD drive because they were very expensive back then. So I missed out on it way back when. And I've been meaning to try it out in VR. So I would probably go and try it in there because I think it's meant to be very good in VR.
Yeah.
But if you haven't got a VR headset, this is still, by all stands of it, a good way to play it, especially if you like good puzzles and a good little sort of narrative mystery. I think it looks pretty cool.
Yeah, I think it looks really, really cool. Poetic, I think we're back with you for this one. Good, sir.
Good.
So, tell us your thoughts on this one.
Do you know what? I've never heard of this up until I saw the trailer, but I was pleasantly surprised at the end when it said it was in PSVR 2. So this is something I will actually pick up because that's been gathering dust. So yeah, needs something to play on there. But no, it looks super interesting. Not necessarily my type of game, but I mean, it did pique my interest, and I'm always one to try new things.
Yeah.
So,
okay. All right. Well, it's normally 18 quid on PC, but it's down to £15.29. Xbox is also 18 quid, but currently also down to £15.29. And PlayStation is 16 quid. So again, depending on what the sales are doing, it's not too bad. I'm not going to lie, price-wise, for a classic game. Let's have a look what people are saying with the scores, folks. If you want to get your scores in now, Legendary JL saying an 8. Danker, an 8. Tompa, a solid 8. Chloe also saying a solid 8. iQuail says 7 guests. See what you did there. Out of 10. Rock Muse, 7. Wayne, 8. Lava Being, 7.5. Game Matter, 7.5. Kindred, 8. Retro Jazar saying 8. I think I did see Brian snuck off to bed. So it's like that way he didn't ruin his four-game streak. So there you go. He can keep that. He got 50% right. Unless he's still here, in which case. Poetic, we'll start with you on this one again. So what do you reckon this got?
I'm hoping it's an 8.
Okay. Fingers crossed it's an 8. Dan?
Yeah, I reckon 8 as well.
Okay. I've got 8. Both get it right. We have to shout you out twice. All right. Dave, what say you?
I was thinking 8 as well.
Okay, everyone's going 8. Everyone is going 8. Folks, this is your last chance. This is the 7 Guest Remake, which came out on Thursday on PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. Hannah also saying an 8. God, I hope the mods are back because it's going to get crazy if everyone's got this right. And I can tell you that this got an 8 out of 10. Well done. So firstly, can we top and tail the shout outs with the link for the wonderful guys from the Good Poet Game Podcast? Go check it out on YouTube, on Spotify. Go click those links. You can also get the links on the top of the Twitch chat. Go check it out, which is awesome. And Dave, we'll come back to you in a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I think he knows what he wants to do next. Exclamation Dave in the chat as well if you want to celebrate the fact that Dave's got his second one right this evening. And congratulations to the following people: Hannah, Retro Shazar, Kindred, Flame, Chloe, Tompa, JL, and Danka. All of you will be getting shout outs, and then we'll give you the shout outs, and then we'll give another shout out for the Good Poets Gaming Podcast. There you go, because then we top and tailed it. A sandwich of shout outs. You guys. Dave, how would you like your second shout out?
We'll go for the knee cracker, shall we?
Okay, all right. Let's try and do that. I might try and do. Do you know what? I'll do something a little bit different just to vary it up.
Mm-hmm. Let's see if they crack.
I don't think I can get away with that, but we'll try. Actually, no, I've got another idea. Hang on, give me a second.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a plan formulating. Bear with me. Right. Are you ready?
Yeah, one then.
Yep.
Dave!
Nice ass.
Fuck it.
You're going to wear that for the rest of the show, are you?
No. There you go. Oh, there you go. Well done. Congratulations to everyone who got that right for that. We are going to move on to our next game, something completely different again. And basically a version of a game that you can get on lots of other platforms, but it's the first time it's ever coming to Switch 2. This came out on Thursday as well. And this is what used to be known as Pro Evolution Soccer, as we know, turned into eFootball. But this is a special version for the Switch 2 because this is eFootball Kickoff. Let's have a look at this.
eFootball, reborn from PES, is coming to Nintendo Switch 2. Experience the excitement of every goal, solo or with everyone. Experience the electrifying action of football from around the world. It's all here, from top players making their mark in leagues across the globe, club teams fighting for domestic championships, and national teams battling it out on the world stage. Solo Thrills World Tour. Build an original team and enter tournaments around the world. Win matches and obtain players from the teams you beat. Or spend coins earned from matches to sign the world's greatest legends and stars. Take your one-of-a-kind dream team to the very top. Multiplayer fun quick match. Jump right into an action-packed match with friends or family using real national teams and clubs. Great excitement every 4 years International Cup. Select your favorite national team. Take on footballing powerhouses at the sport's greatest event and become champion of the world. Experience the joy of scoring goals, even if you're new to football games. Includes a 6-a-side mode with fewer players. Play on a smaller pitch than the regulation 11-a-side game. And enjoy matches with fast-paced action, more shots, and more goals. Get in-match advice with the on-pitch dialogue feature. And use easy controls that help you score by slowing things down when it's time to shoot. A rank-based system will help you hone your abilities, intuitively learn the skills needed to win matches, and even more. Enjoy 2 exciting new mini-games: Wall Ball, where you score using wall rebounds, and Obstacle Race, where 5 players team up to pass and run with the ball. Enjoy football to the fullest with a variety of play styles. Online matches are fully featured. Compete with players around the world in Quick Match and Ranked Match. Jump right into an action-packed match with friends in Friend Match. Whether playing solo or with friends or family, try out different play styles and feel the rush of every goal. Supports Game Share. If one player owns the game, up to 3 other players can join in. Lamine Yamal. Messi, 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 Messi. ¡Qué golazo! Messi. Golazo! That's magnificent. Begin your football journey with Kickoff. eFootball Kickoff. Available now.
There you go. So, what was Pro Evo, which turned into eFootball, as we know, in past experience, became a bit of a laughing stock of the thing. When it was Pro Evo, it was classed as a very good football game, right? eFootball hasn't done well for years, but they seem to be cramming a lot in here for this version. And the fact that it's only £15.98, right? When you think most of your FIFAs are 50, 60 quid, and they've been generally going downhill. I mean, it's not even called FIFA anymore. It's EA Sports. And we're going to get a brand new FIFA because someone else has nicked the rights to it. So that's going to cause even more chaos either late this year or next year. It's an interesting one. So I don't always like football games. But personally, I'm like, this might actually be one that might fare well, to be honest, compared to what it's done. Dave, tell us a little bit more about this.
Yeah, I mean, I don't play football games. I haven't played any of these in years, but it's nice to see there is still an alternative to EA Sports, EA Football around. Because I mean, you need competition in there to stop EA just coasting along and not really doing anything new to it. So nice to still stick around. It's kind of a shame though that this used to be Pro Evo, which was held in pretty high regard at one time. It wasn't a good competitor to FIFA, but then it went downhill, as you say. eFootball had a pretty terrible launch, from what I remember, and then I haven't really followed it at all since. So interesting to see they've done this sort of separate version just for like the Switch 2, which kind of looks all right graphics wise. From what I was reading, I think the gameplay is meant to be pretty decent, and it looks quite good. It's got the feature where you can just game share it to some other people.
Yes,
they haven't got away with copies. Things like that are pretty good. I think the only sort of thing it's got against it, which isn't getting as well as some people might bother as others. I don't think it has all the licenses for all the clubs. So I think you get a few similar sounding names for clubs or players, but that's not really the end of the world. As long as the game, I think, plays well. It's a good price for just under 16 quid. You can't really complain, can you?
I think if you are
picking up for a quick go.
Yeah, I think if you're a hardcore football fan and you've got to have all the players and the names, then you need to stick with EA Sports. If you're not the fact that you've got Manchester Union, not Manchester United, and just like playing football for the sake of it, I think this is a decent alternative, to be honest. Dan, I'm going to go with you on this one. Your thoughts on this?
I actually didn't know that this. Obviously, I was a FIFA kid, and then actually as I got older, I started playing PES, and it was around because I remember about FIFA 09, FIFA 10. They had a system where you start in. I used to play Player Career, and I loved Player Career. I'd take a player from like Tranmere Rovers all the way up to like Liverpool with the Champions League, and I like the story building aspect of it.
Yeah,
but they had an aspect in it where you start as like a reserve player and like worked your way up to be like a football legend, and PES did that from the off. Like that, like they did the very simple things. Like in EA, correct me if I'm wrong, but in EAFC, you can't even like be captain of your club. If you've been there 10 years, they'll bring in, some regen character and he'll be captain. Whereas in PES, you've been there 3 years, you're doing all right. Yeah, you're the captain now. But what I like about this one is I'm pretty sure it said there's like a solo, like an offline ultimate team type thing. It looked like it was showing. And that interests me because that reminds me very much of like FIFA Street back in the day of like building your team, but you were only against the AI, so you didn't have to be sweaty or the absolute best person ever at the game. You could enjoy it at your own pace and come on and off it. And then you've got all like the obstacle courses and things like that. So it looks like if you just want what PES was, you've got that. But for anyone coming in that's new and wants a bit of like a more expansive game, it seems like it's got those layers as well. I mean, at the end of the day, it's probably not ever going to be able to compete with EA Sports.
Yeah.
But hopefully, if it's Konami that are doing this one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Hopefully, if Konami have this has a successful launch on the Switch too, and they see that a lot of people want to play it, maybe that makes them, rebrand back to PES or a similar version and go more single player. And if that's the case, then I'd definitely look at getting it if it did come to, I don't want to say mainstream console, but more like, your Xboxes. And
Yeah. No, that makes sense. All right. Well, let's see what people are saying in the chat. We've got some people who just don't care for football, and we've got some people who do. Yeah. So it's going to be very mixed. Dank saying a 7.5. Well, he says 2 boot. I mean 7. Tompa says 6.5. Game Matter says 6. Hannah says 6.5. Rockmuse says 6.5. Dan, I'll start with you. What do you reckon this got?
I reckon that's actually going to be quite high. I reckon maybe a 7.5.
Okay. All right, 7.5. Dave?
I'll try a 7, I think.
Okay, go for a 7. Poetic?
Going for a 6.
Going for a 6. Okay. Iquel saying a 7. There you go. M's, good evening. How you doing? Welcome on in. Kindred saying a 7.5. M saying a solid 7. Folks, last chance. This is eFootball Kickoff, which came out last Thursday on Switch 2. Retro Shazar saying 6.5. If there are no more guesses in the chat, I can tell you this got 7.5.
Nice one.
Well done. Well done again. Blake just stuck in there with a 7. Quite right. But yes, can we get another shout out for the wonderful lads from the Good Poets gaming podcast, please? Get that shout out there. So you guys are doing pretty well now, because I think you're on about 4, right? I think maybe.
Sounds about right. Yeah, let's go with 4.
Right. 4 out of 6 is not too bad going, lads. Not too bad. And yeah, well done to everyone else that got it right. Kinju said I was torn between 7.5 and 8. So you guys know, this is the best scoring eFootball game in a long time. In a very long time. So if you are going to consider getting this is by far the best one out there. And probably a better alternative to FIFA, because FIFA has got lower scores than what this has. Well, not FIFA, EA Sports FC, as it's called now.
Yeah.
As you do. So there you go. Congratulations to the following people. Danker, well done. And Christ, was it only Danker in the chat? No, Kindred. Yeah, only 2 of you there. Flipping heck. There you go. All right. We will move on. We'll move on to our final bit of news for tonight. And we're going to talk about the Xbox showcase. God, did it bore me. If you watch my live reaction, you've probably never seen me want to fall asleep so much in a long time. Now, before that showcase went live, new Xbox CEO, Asher Sharma, had stated that they really need to get Xbox exclusives back, because it's something that is lacking, because obviously over the last 2 years, games on Xbox, which was solely exclusive, started to come over to PlayStation and Switch. And now she's come in. She wants to put that back, because she says there's 2 main things that Xbox do. It's the platform, and it was the exclusives back in the day. That's what made it a success. But they know that they are not doing well in the console wars, because they are the 3rd best console out there, right? So they're trying to find the balance. She stated that they're trying to find the balance to make things right and get the exclusives back, and then basically make the platform a success again. Now, on Sunday, we had a showcase for about an hour with some games. Now, obviously, there were certain games that they are still going to be multi-platform, because we know that obviously the recently released Forza Horizon 6 will still be coming to PlayStation 5. We know that Fable, which has now been delayed till February, will still be coming to PlayStation 5. However, there was one that was a bit of a shock because they obviously kicked off the show with Gears of War E-Day. And they did go into a more deep dive of Gears of War, but they stated that it will be on PC, Xbox Series X and S, and will not be coming to anything else ever. Now, seeing as they recently released Gears of War Reloaded, the very first game, and for the Xbox, it was the third time it was remastered, but for the first time it came to Xbox, and the PlayStation are getting the Halo Combat Evolved. This is an interesting, almost change of pace, because they have stated that this is not even going to be a timed exclusive. It is not coming to PS5. So from what we've heard, it may be the case that Fable might be the last time that we see an Xbox game on PlayStation. But it is weird that some of their games have done well. Sea of Thieves has been a massive success on PlayStation. Forza Horizon 5 last year was one of the biggest selling PlayStation games of the year. So the question here is, even though the showcase I thought was very mediocre, do we think that they're going to get back to the heart of what they did and keep the titles to the Xbox to try and make Xbox, I'm going to use this phrase, make Xbox great again?
Great again.
What do we think, guys? I'll start with Dave as always and then see what you guys think.
I think it's probably a bit late in the day for this generation for any exclusives to make much of a difference in their install base, because we're what, 5 odd years into the generation, and people are already talking about what's coming next. So they're probably like a couple of years away those consoles are. So I think like most people who picked a console, the PS5, they're already invested in that ecosystem. They're not going to swap over just for Gears of War or was it Clockwork Revolution? Those are the two exclusives. I don't think either of them would really tempt people to come over. Probably the better time for them to have some exclusives is when the next gen consoles coming out.
Yeah,
to tempt people onto their new product that's coming out. But of course, it depends on what the cost of that hardware is going to be. We'll have to wait and see. But as much as I quite like the look of Gears of War E-Day, whilst it looks the same as every other Gears of War, I thought visually it looks pretty good. There's a hell of a lot more going on in the scenes than there used to be before, and they've done some improvements to the character's movement, so you can get around the battlefield a bit quicker. It doesn't really look like the sort of thing that will pull people across from one platform to another. Why spend 500-600 quid in it on a Series X now to play that game? It's not really worth it. It's still going to be on PC. A lot of people are going to have PC, so play it there. Don't need an Xbox. So it's still hard to justify adding an Xbox. You can play on PC. At least with the PlayStation stuff, and their exclusives, you have to have the PlayStation for those now.
Yeah.
No other option. They're not, not coming out on PC or anything like that. But Xbox do seem to be a bit undecided on their exclusives, because whilst they've picked those two, you obviously mentioned Fables coming to PlayStation and Halo, and Senua, which they showed off. Which ever even seen it. That's a PlayStation as well. So
I so just don't care about that game.
No, I thought it looked like it should be better than the last one, but I was still not going to play it, to be quite honest.
Yeah,
but they're still bringing stuff out.
It'll win loads of awards, and it'll be a game that you don't have to play any game to it. So there you go. Sorry, I just thought it was a massive letdown when that came out 2 years ago.
Yeah,
guys, your thoughts on this?
Well, I'm a little bit on the outside looking in, because I don't know whether you know, Matt, but I've been PlayStation all the way through.
Yeah,
PS1 to PS5. I had a DS, a Wii, and I may have had a Game Boy. I can't really remember. But looking from the outside in, one of my games that I'm most excited for in the next few years is Fable, because that was an Xbox exclusive that I had never played before. So that's a brand new thing coming out. And me as a PlayStation gamer, Gears of War, I'm nah, I don't really care all that much. So I'm not gonna I'm probably not going to get it. If I was going to get it, it'd be on PC because I'm, lucky enough to have a PC as well. But I wouldn't go out my way to go, because what they're trying to do is get people to buy more consoles and do a bit better with the consoles because they're exclusive, I think. But it's that one exclusive is not going to make me go and buy that console. Like it doesn't. And like Dave said, with like we're starting to think about like the PS6 and the Xbox, whatever they're going to call it. And I just don't know if Xbox can compete. I think that their best bet is doing a bit of what Valve did and making a Steam or like the Microsoft and just going full in on like Game Pass and just being that kind of like going away from hardware. I feel like that's Microsoft's best bet at this point because they're really, really struggling.
Yeah.
I think just to add to that, I think with the whole exclusive piece, I do think, I agree with the sentiment that it is a bit too little, too late, right? But I think the reason why, like Gears of War E-Day being exclusive matters now is because they're going to have to start talking about the next gen, right?
Yeah.
At some point, either this year or next year. And they need to entice people to buy an Xbox. But if every game that releases on the Series X or S is also going to PlayStation, then there is no onus on them to then like get gamers to be like, okay, well, I'll get an Xbox because I could just get a PlayStation, get their exclusives, and then get the Xbox. So they have to start doing it now, and that's what they're doing. I don't know. I've loved Xbox since the original Xbox. It was the first console I ever bought for myself. But yeah, I do feel like they need to just either be all in or all out. And I think the big tell will be Blade.
Which we still haven't heard anything about.
Yeah. But if they announce that Blade is only coming to the Xbox, I think it's safe to say that every game after that will be Xbox exclusive. If it comes to the PS5, then I think they should just not release any hardware and just become a third-party publisher.
So Kindred's just put Blade has been cancelled. Wasn't there? Yeah, there was a rumor, like someone had typed something, not saying that it would cancel, but someone had written something that made it sound like it has.
I think I heard that. I think a dev tweeted that. No, we're still making it. Just give us time.
Yeah, but then people went, "Oh, well, that means it's cancelled." I was like, "Does it?"
I don't know.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Dead Island. Everyone thought Dead Island 2 was dead, and then that suddenly came back and it was actually pretty decent. Like in other games, I won't say Vampire Masquerade 2 because that took a long time and came out and was so mediocre. But anyway, that's a different story. But yeah, I will bring this up. He says, if we had to suffer the EA day, the Gears of War E-Day deep dive, I think we should make Sony players have to watch it and let them have it too. Yeah, let everyone suffer. Jeff Cobb said he chased up and been told it will come in time. So probably before GTA 6 then. There we go. Let's get to our final games of the night. This next one was a game that I got to partake as a special event during TwitchCon. I did get to see some footage of the game. It looks really, really good. And this is another game that's been remade. But I have to say they did throw the best party of all over at TwitchCon. This came out on Friday on PC, PS5, Xbox Series X and S. And this is the Gothic 1 remake. Let's have a look at this.
Brothers, the time is finally here. I know it's been difficult, confused, and desperate for hope in a place where there is none. All these years, the unbelievers mocked you for your faith. But do you know what I see? I see strength. I see men who live for a higher purpose. Men who, like me, have seen the glorious age the Sleeper will usher into this world once he awakens. Tonight, we shall show everyone how wrong they were. Sleeper, awaken!
There you go. Gothic 1 remake from THQ Nordic. Dave, tell us a little bit more about this one.
I think this originally came out in 2001, but it's one that I missed. I can't say I played any of the follow-up games either, but this one was always sort of held a bit of a cult following.
Yes.
They decided to remake it. You know, spruce up the visuals, improve the way the game plays, but I don't think they've removed like all the sort of friction that was there, because I think that was part of the charm of the original. You know, the way it played. So basic premise of this one though, it's an RPG, and in the world where it's set, this like mining colony has been trapped behind like a magical barrier. I don't know if it was meant to do that, but it ended up having this effect where everyone in there is trapped, and it's basically going to be a penal colony. Everyone in there gets forced to mine and pass this stuff back out to the wider world that require whatever they're mining. Your character gets like thrown into the prison colony through the barrier, gets trapped in there, and I think the thing that appeals to a lot of people about this is like, once your character's thrown in, it's kind of up to you what you do. So RPG, there's a number of like groups around there, and you can go and align yourself with like any of them. I think the game will play slightly differently depending on who you align yourself with. And then number of quests and stuff to solve. See if you can find a way to break back out, save yourself, perhaps even save everyone else in the mining colony. But from what I've seen in the trailers and the videos I watched, gameplay wise, looks okay. Graphics look pretty nice. I never played it originally, but I heard good things about it, so I might have a look at some point. Okay, cool. Is this actually on Game Pass? I can't know if it's on Game Pass.
No,
it's not.
No, it might come to Game Pass, but it's not on release. So
I might wait see if it pops up on there and give it a go.
Yeah. From what I saw, they only had a number of booths at the event, but from what I saw while peering over someone's shoulder, it did look very, very good. I'm not just saying that because they invited me to the party. It generally looked really, really cool. iQuell says, unfortunately for him, it's not goth enough. Needs more long black coats, eyeliner, and tears of Robert Smith. Is that because boys don't cry? There you go. There's a joke for you. Jesse, good evening. You just got 450 Mojo Bites. You're on a 50 stream streak. There you go. So next up is Poetic. Your thoughts on this?
Do you know what? Haven't heard of it, but it did look really, really good. Not sure if it's my type of game. So, like Dave, if it does drop into Game Pass, I will probably give it a go. Because I mean, that's we mentioned Clair Obscure before, and that's what I did, and absolutely loved it. So, hopefully this is the same. But yeah,
I think a lot of care and attention's actually been put into this one. So I'd like to get to play it. I've not actually properly played it, but if I ever do, then I'll give it a whirl. Let's have a look what people are putting in the scores. Also, I forgot to say, it's currently cheapest on PC and Xbox. It's 42 quid. On PlayStation, it's 50 quid. So there you go. Thank you very much.
Can I just say, what I've noticed from this is that games are just more expensive on PlayStation.
Generally, yes, unless it's Switch 2, and then they're even more expensive.
Yeah, of course.
Apart from that football game, which was really cheap. It's the cheapest Switch game I've ever seen in my life. Not going to lie.
One thing I have noticed, though, and I don't know whether it's just me, is that usually the Switch games, when they go into like CEX, they hold their value and they don't really go down. Whereas PS games, PlayStation games really like plummet. So like, I reckon give it, a month, and I reckon you could get James Bond for like 45 quid, maybe.
Probably.
I reckon so.
Highly likely. Let's see what people are saying with scores. Danka, 7.5. Chloe, 8.5. iQuell, 6.5. Hannah, 7.5. Kindred is torn between a 7 or a 7.5. M says 7. Tompa says 7. Flame says 7. Retro Shazar says 7. Lava Being says 8. Where are we? I think we're back with you, Dave, kicking us off with scores. What do you reckon?
I'll go with a safe 7.
Safe 7. Kindred has decided to go for a 7.5. Poetic.
I'm going to go 7.
7. Dan.
Oh, I reckon 8.5, you know.
8.5. That's what Lava Bean said. Lava Bean was like, I said 8, but I bet it's going to be an 8.5. So we'll see. Okay. All right, folks. Last chance. This is Gothic 1 Remake, which came out last Friday on PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X and S. And if there are no more scores in chat, I can tell you that this got 7. So a lot of people got that right. A lot of people just off the mark. Just off the mark. This guy seems to be doing very, very well. Very, very well. So we're going to get you another shout out. Hey, same team.
That's it.
Can't lose. Yeah. There you go. Now, in terms of, because we talk about the critic scores, Kindred just said, in terms of player score, some people are giving this a 10 out of 10.
Okay.
There you go. Which is good, because sometimes, I'll be honest, we get games where the critic scores are really low, and then you look at the player scores and they're way better. So, and the reviews are better from the actual players. But it's just easier to calculate critic scores sometimes. So there you go. So firstly, we've done a shout out again for the Good Poets Gaming Podcast. It's also pinned to the top. Go have a listen on Spotify. Go have a watch on YouTube. Go send them some love. And all the following people are going to get a shout out. We are going to be shouting out Kindred. Oh, Betty, glad he went for a 7.5 there. Hannah, congratulations. And Danker, I believe. So those are the 3 people that got that right there. And I'm going to say this because I haven't said this tonight. Please do, all these people are getting shout outs. Please do click on their names. Please do give them a follow. They greatly appreciate it. They come here every week and watch the show. So why not give them a little bit of love back? We greatly appreciate that. Thank you so much. Our final game of the night came out yesterday on PC, PS5, Switch 2, and Xbox Series S and S. And this is Solar Punk.
Imagine a world without chaos. A place where we can simply breathe again. High above the clouds, far from the noise and the rush, another kind of life begins. A world of floating islands, warm light and quiet hope. Build and decorate everything exactly as you envision it. Unleash your creativity and create your own peaceful haven in the sky. For you alone, or with your friends. Care for animals, craft new devices, and harness the power of sun and wind to bring energy to your world. When the horizon calls, board your own airships together. Explore distant islands and return home with new resources, new ideas, and new stories.
If I'm right in thinking, I think this has also come to Game Pass, I believe, yesterday. If someone can verify that for me, I'd greatly appreciate it. I'm sure it was on the list. But there you go. Our final game of the night. Dave, tell us a little bit more about this. Something a bit more calming to end the show with.
Yeah, a bit of a cozy game, survival and crafting game where you get to fly amongst lots of little sky islands looking for resources and building yourself a little homestead and a farm, growing your crops and stuff like that. The game is sort of emphasising renewable energy sources. So you got to harness the power of the sun, the wind, water to generate power to power the various creations that you can build. Looks all right from what I can see. Not the sort of thing I'd play, but you can play it solo or up to 4 players. So if you want to get your mates in, have fun building stuff together, then you can do. I mean, these sorts of things seem to do pretty well. We see a shitload of cozy games, pretty much every week, at least a couple of months, I'm sure. So it's a popular genre. People like playing these things just to chill and relax.
On PC, it's £20.70. On Xbox, it's £20.70, or you can get it free on Game Pass Ultimate. On PlayStation, don't know why, it's £20.71. And on Switch, it's £20.70. I don't know whether that's a typo or that's genuine. If that's genuine, that's hilarious, just to prove the point of PlayStation games are more expensive. There you go. I can't say cozy games are just not my thing. I know we've got people that do love cozy games in the chat. I know it's not everyone's kind of thing. Dan, your chance now. Your thoughts on this?
For me, I love a good build and logistical style game. I don't know whether you know, but I like the Medieval Dynasty and Sengoku Dynasty type games. For me, this feels like a game that you'd play for maybe a few weeks and then get really bored of it.
Yeah,
I feel like they're trying to do something a bit different, and it reminds me of what was that Minecraft mod where it was all technology based, and the Yogscast used to play it a lot. I can't think of the name of it, but it reminds me of that. It looks cool, and for the price point, I think if you're into that game and your mate's going to play it, go pick it up. But I think it's one that I'll probably miss personally.
Yeah. Sony money grabbing bastards with their game being 1p more expensive.
The Sony tax.
I know, Sony tax. There you go. All right. Well, and our final game, folks, this is your last chance to get a shout out. Let's see your scores in the chat. Kicking off with Hannah saying a 7.5. And then Chloe saying a 7.5. Tompa saying a 7.5. Rockmuse saying an 8. Ems saying a 7. Poetic, I'm going to start with you. What do you reckon this got?
I'm going to go 8.
Okay, go for an 8. Flame also agrees with you, saying an 8. Dan?
I reckon a 7.
7. Game Matter 8.5. Retro Jazar saying an 8. Dave, what say you?
I'll go for a 7.5.
7.5. iQual going a little lower. 6.5. Any more, folks? Any more? This is our last game of the night. Solar Punk, which came out yesterday on PC, PS5, Switch 2, Xbox Series X and S, and is free on Game Pass Ultimate. Kindred saying a 7. Dank saying a 6.5. And if there are no more scores, I can tell you this got 6.5.
Wow.
Oh,
So
wow.
Unexpected.
Not great. Yeah, not as good. And actually our lowest scoring game of the night, which is not a bad score, as we always say. 6.5 is not a bad score. It will probably keep you entertained. It's just not the best thing, But there you go. We've had quite good scores this week. We've had some that have been right all over the shop, but there you go. So iQual, congratulations. You got it right. And Danka got it right as well. I don't think anyone else said 6.5. So I think there was only 2 of you. I was hoping that one was going to catch everyone out, because there's some weeks where I managed to catch everyone out on one game. Scuppered this week. But there you go. So there were the shout outs. iQual, I'll do your shout out for you, because you can't shout yourself out. That'd be a bit weird, wouldn't it? So I'll just press the button and wait for that to load. So let me do that. Ching! And they've just chucked in another shout out for the lads from the Good Poets Gaming Podcast, because why not? They've been our guests. Now, before we end the show, we always look at what is going on in the world of gaming charts. Last week, we had a look at the Steam charts, but every 2 weeks, we have a look at what is going on in the UK gaming resale charts. Going to catch you up to speed, because it's been quite an interesting one, because of last week. Obviously, we didn't talk about it last week, so I want to tell you what happened. 2 weeks ago, Lego Batman was the #1 game in the UK. Okay? Last week, 007 First Light knocked Batman off its perch to become a new entry at number 1, but Batman hanging in there at number 2. We had Forza Horizon 6, which was originally a number 2 game and a number 1 selling game, dropped to number 10 last week. And the new Yoshi game, Yoshi and the Mysterious Book, went in at number 3 a couple of weeks ago, dropped down to number 6. The only other new game that got into the gaming charts, I didn't even know about this, was the Disney Afternoon Collection, which came in at number 34. Okay. And yet again, because of the Mortal Kombat movie, we saw 2 of the Mortal Kombat games go back into the charts. So let's see where some of the new games are. There is another new game that we talked about on this show, and see where everything else is in comparison. So here is the charts as of the end of the weekend. So back as a re-entry at number 10 is Armored Core 6 Fires of Rubicon. Down 2 places, Mario Kart World. Down 5 places is Resident Evil Requiem. Up 2 places is Call of Duty Black Ops 7. Down only 1 place and still hanging in there is Pokemon Pokepia. Up 3 places is Mortal Kombat 10. We talked about on the show earlier. A brand new entry at number 4 is Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth. Up 1 place is Mortal Kombat 11 Ultimate. Still staying where it is at number 2 is Lego Batman Legacy of the Dark Knight. And at number 1 for the second week is 007 First Light. And it's a non-mover now. A couple of things to tell you. The Gothic 1 remake entered at number 23 in the charts. So it did pretty well, because I'll be honest, I've not seen much advertising for that. So it went to number 23. Obviously, Yoshi and Forza out of the top 10 now. They've gone. But here's a couple of interesting things. Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, 99% of the sales of that for the Switch 2 version. So the Xbox, this doesn't count downloads, this is purely retail, only counted for 1%.
Wow.
How crazy is that? And that went in at number 4. Resident Evil Requiem is still the biggest selling game of this year, but has dropped quite considerably, as you notice. But 007 First Light, in its second week at number 1, has now sold 3 million copies, making it the second biggest selling game of this year.
Wow.
So that could potentially be on the heels of Resident Evil Requiem. Still got a bit of a way to go, but could do pretty well. So that's where we're at. So obviously 2 new games that hung in for a couple of weeks, gone. Not much new stuff come in, and the Mortal Kombat game still dropping in and out because of how the film's doing. And again, really weirdly, Armored Core 6 re-entered the charts, which it did like a month ago, just out of nowhere. So there you go. Any thoughts on any of those, gents? Again, I'll start with Dave and work our way around.
Well, pleased to see 007 doing so well, because that is a really good game. Thoroughly enjoying what I've played of it so far. And kind of like you, I'm surprised to see Armored Core sort of keep popping back in there. I mean, that's a good game. I'm just surprised to see it coming back. Since got to be a couple of years old by now, isn't it? So I wonder what's piquing people's interest in it at the moment. Yeah. Is it just some sales going on? People are picking up dirt cheap, so it's popping back up in there.
Yeah.
Could be something like that. Couldn't it? Nice to see it doing well.
Yeah. I would say the other game that did drop out the top 10, which was still in the top 10 last week, Tomodachi. Tomodachi Life. I forgot to mention that. That's dropped out. Steve Kindred said the Yoshi game wasn't a bad game. I just think it was very badly advertised of what it was. And I think that's why it hasn't done so well. It's done all right. You know, it survived 2 weeks in the charts. Most games come in and go within 1 week, so that's pretty good. Lego Batman for me is so far the game of the year, but I'm yet to buy 007. I have to say the Lego Batman game is excellent. So I definitely recommend it. So that's been in the chart for 3 weeks, and it was number 1 for 1 week. That could swap around. Guys, your thoughts on any of these?
I mean, 007's like, it's unreal. I mean, I sold a lot of my my games to CX because I'm not a massive collector, and they were just gathering dust. So it was like, I made a decision. The games that I have on that shelf are going to be good.
Yeah.
hence what I'm trying to make my name be
Yeah.
more of. So I was waiting to get a physical edition and waiting for it to come at CEX, and it
Yeah.
actually went to CEX like probably about 5 days after release, which
That's
I was very surprised at. So I picked that up. I think it was still like 55 quid or whatever
Yeah.
it is, and it blew me out of the water. Like I played the first like 2 hours of it, like got through the training
Yeah.
montage and all that, and I was like, it was just going to be a stream game, but I was like, no, I need this. This needs to be played off stream. I need to
Yeah.
enjoy this. I'm quite surprised at Lego Batman.
Mhm.
Purely because it's a Lego game, and I know like Lego games have done well in the past. You
Yeah.
know, like the old like Lego Star Wars, and
Yeah.
I'm not sure how the Skywalker Saga did.
No, I'm not sure either.
But the fact that a Lego game, what's a kids game, and I say that in inverted commas,
Yeah.
it's doing so well. It's really, really good to see.
I think the difference is obviously they tried something different with the Lego Horizon game, and that didn't do too well. You know, it was all right to play. I think with this one, because it is taking more from the Arkham games than it is a typical Lego Batman game, this really does set it apart. And I think that's is why this is appealing so much, because people who probably wouldn't normally play Lego Batman games or Lego games who are big Batman fans are like, this is more, this feels like an actual, even though it's Lego, it feels like a successor to an Arkham game.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts, gents?
For me, I'm just surprised about the ratio for Final Fantasy VII.
Oh yeah,
that
that
is
shocked me.
ridiculous.
Yeah.
Especially like considering, well, I'm assuming that there are significantly more Xboxes out there than Switch 2s.
Yeah.
That's just baffling. Obviously, we don't know what the digital sales are like.
No, we don't. No.
Yeah, and I can't remember the last time I bought a physical. I don't think I've ever bought a physical game for my Xbox. So
okay.
But yeah, that's shocking.
All right. Well, what we might do is, could we look at different charts? We haven't done the Xbox chart for a while, so maybe next week's show we'll have a look at the Xbox chart and see if Final Fantasy dropped in this week compared to next week. See, because it might turn out downloads, it might be doing really well. Just don't know. It's just that physical copies. As we always say, Nintendo Switch predominantly does storm the charts because they do sell more physical, really, than download, compared to PlayStation, Xbox, which sell more download than physical. So we'll see. But there you go, folks. That is the chart for this week. We'll keep you updated with more charts next week. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is our show. Thank you to Poetic and Good Game Dan for being on our show. Again, congratulations on your 1 year anniversary of the podcast.
Cheers, thank you.
Thanks.
Please do go listen to the wonderful podcast, and I hope this is the start of many years to come for you guys.
Definitely.
Cheers.
Hopefully you get to a point where you can say you've done as many shows as us two idiots. Not idiots, crazy people, because you must be crazy to do nearly 270 shows. But yeah, you guys have a great time going on, and please do go listen. The links are in the chat again, and lots of people saying GG lads, thank you, you legends, lovely meeting you guys. There you go. Kindred has also put all the games and scores and everything you need to know and prices in the Discord. If you're not in my Discord, there is a link already in the chat there. Feel free to join. You get kept up to date with loads of gaming information and everything. Next week's show, we've got another first-time guest. We have got Haz. Haz is a game dev who's made an amazing game that I've played multiple times at different events. He was at TwitchCon. He was at London Games Festival, to name a few. And he's got a great game, which is going to be at Timeless as well. He's got Astroburn, and he's our guest on the show next week. So you'll get to see him. And if you don't know what Astroburn is, you'll get to find out more about that before you get to play at Timeless Gaming Convention. We have got more streams tomorrow. We're on a little bit earlier, 7:30 start, because I'm sponsored by Minecraft for the second time this year. But this time we're taking Minecraft to the back rooms because they've done a special mod to coincide with the new horror film, which came out a couple of weeks ago. So we're going to be playing the Backrooms version of Minecraft. And then we're going to be playing some Sonic Rumble. Everyone can join in. And we've got some prizes courtesy of Sonic Rumble to give away. And Thursday, we have got a special RGG stream to celebrate RGG Sound, the fact they've announced a new Virtual Fighter game and Stranger Than Heaven. And that will then swiftly follow by a game that has caused a lot of controversy and a lot of discussion, not just on this show, but lots of others. I am actually going to try out Mixtape. So we're going to see what my thoughts, because I got told on social media that I shouldn't have opinion because I never played it. Well, I'm going to play it so then I can tell all them to go fuck themselves. So there you go. But then again, I might enjoy it. But my point of view was it was not a game. There you go. It was a great work of art. But we'll see. Maybe my opinion will change. That will be on Thursday from 7:30. Thank you again to our wonderful guests. Thank you to the always knowledgeable Mr. Dave Jones.
Always a pleasure, mate.
Thank you, my friend. And thank you to all of you who've been watching on YouTube and Twitch. Thank you to all the mods for doing all the shout outs. We're going to do a raid. If you're watching on YouTube, it's just going to end. Sorry, that's how it is. Sucks to be on YouTube. But if you're on Twitch, we are going to go raid over to someone, and let's find someone that's playing something right now and cause them a little bit of excitement as we drop in on them. Let's have a look. We can go for... I'm going to try and go for someone that we've not done in a while. I think... Let's see. I kept saying we were going to raid Faz, and we haven't raided Faz in ages. Faz is playing some Sonic Racing Crossworlds. I know he's fanatical about that game. He loves it. So let's go raid him, because we haven't raided him ages, and he keeps popping up on my feed. I'm like, really should do that. So let's make that happen. That raid will start once the end credits are rolled. And all that leaves for me to say is, wherever you are in the world, have a great morning, a great afternoon, or a great evening. And I shall see you back tomorrow at 7:30 for some Sonic Rumble and some special Minecraft sponsored content. So we do that thing where we wave and I press a button, and hopefully it all works. Thank you very much. Good night.
Bye. Good night.
Bye.